Hey guys, how is it going? So let's look at the Bullfrog and why I think the ISO is going to be replacing the Bullfrog in the next kind of little bit here. So the Bullfrog is a fantastic gun within, what, 20 meters or so? But once you get out past that 20 meters, you start getting into AR territory. Well, unless they're running away from you and you just want to chase them with that SMG because you're running fast with the SMG. So in that case, and we're not stationary with our AK or M4, what does that give us? So the Bullfrog has a pretty big advantage, about 80 millisecond advantage over the ISO, but like I said, it's going to be nerfed here soon, more than likely again. So let's just take that off the list and take a look at what we have here. So the fastest movement option is going to be this ISO right here, which is a loud and proud kind of setup, but it's the Monolithic, the 50 laser, the ISO grip, and the collapsible stock. Now, I'm not a huge fan of lasers because they obviously announce your position when you're aiming down sight. And that's not something that I'm very keen to do, being as I can see where the laser's coming from and hit that guy with that laser. All of these are that same way, though, just to get the fast ADS times that we need with modern warfare guns. So if that's not your style and you want more of a compromise and you're trying to reach out to like 25 meters, 24 meters, you need to go to something like the Dominator barrel or the Nightshade. So the Nightshade is a built-in suppressor that gives you a little more freedom to change things around and stabilize and things like that. The Nightshade also is going to be the most accurate one at distance. So if you want to use this at a distance, for some reason that is an option with that barrel. But let's look at the actual stats of the gun. So like I was saying, the fastest movement speed is going to be right here at 4.71, but it is outshadowed by the Bullfrog's 4.92. And that is kind of weird, though, because if we take a peek here, 3.71 for the ADS move speed versus 2.87. So you are scooting with the ISO aim down sight movement speed versus the Bullfrog, which can win you a lot of fights. Obviously, the Bullfrog here is the 50 round version, just because we want to keep this kind of fair. And this does give the Bullfrog an ADS advantage as well in Warzone, so keep that in mind. Though you can go, I think, the next step up and be totally fine in that. So there is that. But Cold War guns typically will have faster movement speed, but this is just atypical that we have a little bit faster movement speed aim down sight, so just kind of work with that when you can. But let's take a look at some of the recoil patterns, and like you've heard before, I'm sure you guys have heard the Modern Warfare guns do have a little more active aim assist for controller players, so this might be a better option for controller players over the Bullfrog in the first place. Let's take a look at that. Alright, so let's dive into these loadouts and look at them in game. So the first loadout is going to be just the maximum control one, which is the slowest moving one. Now, obviously the Nightshade, Tac Laser, ISO Tac-Form, 50 round mags, and the Merc Foregrip. Now the Merc Foregrip, because it gives 17% advantage to you to the vertical recoil. And that is a black rifle. So this purple and blue one is going to be the compromise version, which is the Monolithic, the Dominator, Tac Laser, 50 round drums, and the Commando Foregrip. And finally, we're going to have the reptile skin, which is this yellow mustardy one, the Monolithic, the Tac Laser, 50 round drum, the ISO grip, and the ISO collapsible stock. Let's dive into a game and take a look at these recoil comparisons. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the standard high recoil ISO. We are standing at 8 meters, aiming at the base. Like, that's not really that bad for the highest recoil, right? Hop over here. It's just tighter groupings there, so it is a little easier to control. And this is the compromise. And that's kind of where we end up. So depending on what your skill level is, we'll kind of pick what you want to use. However, I'm going to say, for me, for what I like after this gun, I'll probably end up using this more often than not, because once you get good with it, maintaining the recoil really isn't that bad. We'll even back off to 20 meters, right? Probably the maximum you take an engagement with this gun. You see, it's got a lot of sway, so there is that to factor in. There's a pretty big spread at 20 meters. So let's use the most accurate option at the same 20 meters. And you see there's significantly less visual recoil as well. And that is a much tighter grouping. And let's check out the compromise. I'm going to say the compromise and the maximum control are about the same as far as feel goes. But, I mean, really, there's 3 options for you guys to check out. It's a cool rifle. It's really interesting for an SMG. Just give it a shot. Give it a chance. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. But, let's chase some kills with this thing now and hop into a storage game. Alright, boys and girls, let's drop into Plunder. This loadout I'll be running just to make sure I run the ISO without picking anything up or doing something stupid like using another gun. So, sir. I don't know what I was gonna do there. Just kind of did what I could do to survive at that point. Ooh, they're pouring out of it. Down 1. Got the kill. What's going on? Oh my goodness. That was sloppy, but I won, at least. Gosh, that was sloppy. Ooh. Not hitting headshots like I need to. I marked. Thanks for the plate. Saw in the corner of my eye coming. Got the kill at least. Man, this is a rough crowd. Whew. That got hairy real quick. Nope. Not gonna win that distance fight. I heard somebody running over here. Got my kill. There's gotta be a guy above me. Okay. Starting to vibe. Wow. Those great shots and then that garbage. Beep, beep. That counts, right? Take the easy kills. Get them while I can. Alright, so now you can see how the gun behaves in-game and all that kind of good stuff. So it's a pretty good gun. It feels good. It moves around just fine. It's not fantastic in any way. Obviously, that build at a distance, it's not going to stack up to an M4, right? That's just not what it's for. But if you're within that close proximity, it's a great gun to utilize. So just kind of keep that in your list of guns to potentially use. But if you guys like this video, give it a like. If you like me, give me a subscribe. Have a good one, guys. See you around.